Hey, this is how just like a little quick overview of how you trade BLEVF. We're just gonna copy this stock real fast. By the way, so you can only use TD Ameritrade right now for this whole thing. Like anything, trading this stock, you can only use TD Ameritrade. I don't know why, just because. So if I penny stock, because look at the price of the stock, it's below 22 cents. I mean, it's above 2 cents, just about 3 cents. As you can see here, I just want to show you why this stock is good to trade. If you have a lot of money to trade it with, I mean, it's really good if you trade it with lower money, but there's a lot more at risk. So tomorrow I'm only going to put about 5,000 in here. So this is the 1 minute. This is the 1 minute. So this is what happened today in one day. All right. So, um, first, it'll go first. How you trade it is. Let me just pull up my notes on this stock real fast, actually. Um, all right. So, since it's really, really risky, like this, hold on, watch this. See that number? 17% down. But also, this can happen too. See this? 42% up. That's 32% down. So there's a lot at risk here. But if you get the right trade, so if let's just say you're on average and you get the middle of that box, that's 50% of your earnings, basically in a half. And then this whole little mark right here is less than 2 hours. So it goes bang, it drops down again, and then it goes bang again. And that's what's so cool about this stock is it's so nice to trade. And you can see even if you buy up here, look, it's a 0.03% loss. So it's really, really hard to trade when there's a lot at stake because your emotions get into it. But if you have no emotions and you just trade pretty consistently, so one day, just like that, and you have to be trading above, I think it's $2,000 for it not to be considered a short trade, which means it has to be longer than an hour. Now, I hate all these time restrictions. That's why I'm trying to get to 25,000. So I have unlimited trades and unlimited, basically, time to do anything. I can make 30 trades in a second, but that probably won't happen. So this is a really good stock to day trade. Just watch this. Okay, goes up. That's 2.6%. Boom, 20.23%. 15, 23. Now, if you had $5,000, that's what's 23% calculator. 23 point times 0.25. Crap, I messed it up. Here, let's just show you. Okay, calculator. 5,000 times 0.25. You would have made $1,250 on that one single trade, and that's a 10-minute trade. So if you bought it right here and sold it right there, that'd be even more. That'd be like $1,900, even if you just did that. And that is over a period of about 2 hours and 9 minutes. So from that, it's pretty cool. So how you can expect a big trade is the MACD line is in the red. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's zoom out to the 5-day every 5 minutes. Now you might see that there's not a lot of information. Now we're kind of not going to go on the graph here because it's kind of sketchy. So if you can see here, Tuesday did 59%, but if you waited the entire day, it did 118%, and that's pretty good. So whatever I made off of that 50%, I would have just basically threw it right back in there, and I would have taken out the other stuff. So if I was trading 5,000 and I made 3,000 on that, I'd sell it there and then take out the 5,000 and then replace whatever money I made in this trade right here and continue to trade it. So I'd never really lose that much money. And then, okay, so that's part of it. That's why I love this trade so much, this stock. Now, if you think about it, if you do all of the math, or whatever it's called, you do, this is basically how you trade it. You should only buy the stock if the MACD line is in the red, which it is here. See, that's how you can predict a pretty good push. You can only predict it if, only buy it if the RSI line is angled up, which right here, right before it traded, it is pointing up. So that means the volume is ramping up and it's about to skyrocket. And then the DMA line is up. The DMA line is up on right here. So it just started making money again because it's angled at each other. Wait, can I show that? Yeah. It's like that or like that. So it's about to cross and the yellow line is on top. And since we're trading with such big numbers, you need to be really precise about it. So if it's between 25 degrees and 35 degrees, that's when you gotta buy. So if we just zoom in right here, hold on, and then freaking thing. Alright, let's just go off of hand. So that's 14, 30, but at the beginning it was 19, 20. I cannot see that really. Hold on. Gotta switch it to red. That is 18, 20%, 21%, 25%. So if it's looking like that, that's how you know when to buy, number one. And then there's a lot of other stuff that goes in it. So only trade if they're that. And if it's above that, you're too late because as you can see, once it goes up, you think it's starting to sell off. So then you basically just cut your losses right there. Even though it's still going up, that's a lot. That's 56% of your money. So I would not risk losing that again just by going up. So I just cut my losses right there and take home the money. Or if you're feeling a little bit brave, you can hold on to it, which it usually does. It usually goes past a few bars. As you can see, it goes all the way up. It just doesn't hit the yellow line and then go straight down. But the best point to sell is when it's angled at each other, the RSI line is pointing up, and the blue line is below the yellow line, and the blue line is sitting at an angle of 25 to 35 degrees. And then reference, if you have it, VWAP, which is this thing right here. Give me a second to bring it up. Load study set name. So as you can see right here, it kind of drops down right here. And this is how you know when to buy and if it's going to be a really good one. That's why I say reference it. Don't rely on it because some of the time, look at it. It does this. It goes through the bottom of it, which is this line. So the start of it is right there. And it doesn't really come back up until way later in the day. So if you bought it basically right here, which is on the bottom of this RSI line, the DMA line, or the bottom of the RSI line. So the VWAP is just basically a continuous RSI line daily. So whatever the RSI is doing, which is this thing down here, it's continuous. So this is just flattened out, but this is that. So you can see that's low, and then it goes a bit higher on the day. And you can see it really doesn't hit any of the top or bottom RSI lines. So you can also reference that. When it hits the bottom of it, which is, it's never gone past 39.6552, you know it's a pretty good time to buy, because every single time it does that, it pushes way up, which it does right here. It just barely touches it, goes up, the angle's good, everything's great, pushes up, 20% gain. See, and then it starts to go down, so that's when you know when to sell it off. But you see stuff like this, don't buy it, because look at it, it's just a complete mess of everything. See that? If you got at the bottom, or the average, you'd stay the same. You'd only make a 1.92% on each trade, and that is kind of crappy. So when it's doing stuff like this, don't do it. Just take your time and wait for it, which I've been doing for a day now, but I should have just caught some trades earlier. So, how to sell it. So, when to sell it. When you've made a profit, number one. When the DMA lines cross, and so you can be safe about the money that you made. And then set a limit order for 10% higher than what you started with, and then set a stop order for 4% less than you started with. So the max that you can go down is 4%, and the highest, and the basically when it goes all the way up through the roof, it'll take whatever it's given. As you can see right here, it just moves. It doesn't take time. There's no like lines here because there's not that much data. So it just goes here to here, 12%. So it just, if it goes higher than 10%, that's what the limit order is. And then if the stop order is 4%, so it'll give you 4% of your money. And then the time. Do not trade within the first 3 hours of the day. The last 3 hours of the day. It's complete ruckus, as you can see. It starts off okay. Today was not that good, that's why I didn't trade it. But you can see the last 3 hours of the day is pretty bad overall every single time. So if we go in 1 minute, that is okay. So that's basically, hold on, that's basically 3 hours. But if you look at this, that's 3 hours too. It's just that once it gets to here, it's after hours. It doesn't really show that. But 3 hours, you can see that it starts to ramp up, but you can't sell it right here. So tomorrow, you're stuck with a stock that's either declining or growing. But I don't like to take risks that much. I like to take high percentage chances that I'd win. So that would be last 3 hours of the day. Would be right here, right there. So I'd cut my losses right here and just dip. I'd leave. I'd leave the stock so I wouldn't have to make that much. I wouldn't have an issue with getting stuff tomorrow, even though it continues to go up. You can't sell right here. You can't sell. So even if it went up another 11%, that's a lot of money. But once you're in it, you're like, man, it's just going up. So what does it do? It keeps going up, and then it hits the top, and then it loses volume in after hours because there's no volume there. So then it starts to go down. So if you bought right here, you would have only made a 17% instead of 16%. And if you traded right here, it'd be 73%. And if you ended it right there, it would be 51. But you see what I'm saying? I don't like to take high risk shots. I mean, what if that stock just goes all the way down and then you lose 98% of your money? So that's what I'm kind of worried about. And then that's how you, that's the time. And then it also takes, on average, 2 hours for a whole trade to go through. So that's when I buy it to the time I sell it. The average is 2 hours. As you can see right here, that's 3 minutes. But hold on, let's just go in the past a little bit. 5 minute. What's it called? Trading 2 hours. Okay, right here. So all the signs are showing good right here. Exactly right on that line, right there. So what you would do is you'd be like, okay, put in an order. That's 17 minutes. But if you wanted to wait a little bit longer, do this thing. That is 2 hours, 57 minutes. And if you want to make a lot more, okay, so it just shouldn't take more than 2 hours to trade, especially this stock. You see this? So it bounces up and down here. So that's what it does. The stock is freaking terrible right here. But look at all the signs are showing it except the DMA line and the MACD line that it should go up again right here. So if you start right there, that's 2 hours 12 minutes. But if you bought it in the middle of here, that's 1 hour and 13 minutes. So on average it shouldn't take more than 2 hours. Okay, now I'm warning you, if one of here, copy this. That's basically what I'm reading off of because I've made this. I just took notes on it for like a week, and so let yourself look at this. Take a screenshot if you have to. It's pretty cool. Then especially look at this. Warning, if this does not happen, if any of the MACD lines are not good, if number one is completely not good right there, do not buy it at all. It is so bad. And then make sure you follow the rules for when to sell. And then also what orders that you should put in the first place. So that's pretty good. And then the time it takes. Just copy all this. You really need to pay attention to this, though. You really need to be careful. I'd say I'm putting about like 10% of my entire money, all of my money, into this stock tomorrow, and we're gonna see how it goes. But yeah, all right. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, text me. My phone number's in the description. Thank you.